I haven't been on YouTube for an entire month because I almost failed college from one test. Let me tell you about it. So, I'm an ITI major in college, which means that I have to take all these fun classes about, like, networking, switches, routers, and one in particular is what caused all of this pain for me. Throughout the entire semester, I had worked my grade up to a point where I was sitting at an 88 in my class, and we had about 3 weeks left, and I was thinking, it's almost done with the semester, I'm just gonna coast on through until the end, and we're gonna pass the class. Well, I was in for a very rude awakening, because on Thursday, November 13th, 2025, is the day that my life about fell apart. That might be an overstatement, but here's what happened. We walked into class. As soon as I sit down, there's something on the board. It says 3 tests. And I'm already thinking, well, what's this gonna be? Because over, like, what we're doing in class, I already know about. It's like math stuff. It's in a networking class. It's easy. I can do it. Well, we start the clock. He says, you guys got 30 minutes to do all 3 of these tests. 3 big tests. So already, I'm starting to get scared because now we're on a timer, and I'm starting to panic. I knock out the first test. It's only 5 questions. Boom, bop, bam. 3 out of 5. Good enough. I'll take it. Not that terrible. But then we start the next test. It was on something called VLSM, which is like subnetting different networks, and it's a bunch of like math stuff and IPs and all that great stuff, and I thought that I had it mapped out. I thought I knew it. Well, I screwed up the first number, and I ended up getting the entire test wrong. I'm starting to panic. I'm like, what do? I don't need to think about this. I have another test to do. The time is ticking. Like, I'm running out of time. So I start my second test, and it's just stuck in my head. Like, I cannot get this out of my mind. And I make the mistake of checking my grade, and boy, was that the worst mistake of my life. If you're standing up, you might want to be seated for this. I checked that grade, and before I was sitting at an 88% in that class, this took me to a 53%. I about passed out. I was trying to like hold myself up because I was like legitimately getting lightheaded, and I was like, I can't give up yet. I have one more test that's just as big as this one. I gotta lock in on that test too. It felt like the room was spinning, and I was like getting dizzy, but I had one more test to do. Long story short, I failed that one too because I was just stuck in my head. I could not stop thinking about that grade, and I get done with the test. I'm looking around. Everyone else is looking pretty fine, and I'm just sitting in my chair, just like head down. I'm like, what is happening? Like, what am I gonna do? I even texted my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna have to drop my class. I don't know what I'm going to do. I spent the whole semester doing perfect until this very moment. I just wasted all my time, and I almost just like walked out of the room. Like, I was just that done. After it all had set, I was sitting at about a 52 or 53%. The second test didn't do as much. I stayed after the class because I was like, I gotta figure something out. Like, I've done every single extra credit thing I can do for this class. Like, what can possibly make this situation better? So I wait for everybody to leave, and it gets to the point where it's just like me and like a front row of people, and I tell the teacher, I'm like, hey, I flunked that test so hard. And he's like, how hard? And I said, I don't even want to say it out loud. He's like, let me just check. And he said, ooh. And that's how you know it's bad. 4 out of 41. Not the greatest. And I told him it dropped me from a 88 to a 53. And he said, oh, that can't be right. Well, it turns out it is right, because the way that test was weighted was in a 20% category, and it was the only test in that category. So still trying to like cling on to life. I'm still panicking, heart beating. I'm like, is there literally anything that I can do to pass? Anything. I'm trying. But I said this basically word for word to him. I said, is there any way if I have like a 2016 LeBron James versus the Warriors in the finals comeback, will I be able to pass the class? And he said, you know what? It's possible. So there it was, set in stone. I was gonna pass. It was a long, quiet car ride home. And then when I got home, I thought, you know how hype it would be if I could pass this and make a fire YouTube video at the same time? So that's what I did. I started vlogging the entire thing. And here's where that starts. I look like I just got railed by a bear. I've been walking a long ways to my car. But boys, today is Tuesday. The day of reckoning was on last Thursday. That is when everything hit the fan. I went from about a 90 to a 53. So today we had a test, and let me tell you, I aced that test. I studied all weekend and I aced it. I think that's only gonna put me up maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 1%. So we're still at like a 54, which isn't what you love to see. We have 3 weeks. The clock is ticking. I'm getting kind of scared, but I'm optimistic. We're gonna do this. I made a pact, and I said that if I don't do this, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm joking. That's a joke. So that weekend, I studied like no other. The entire time, like, my stress was just keeping me up at night. I was having dreams about like Cisco routers. And by the time Tuesday rolled around for the next class, word was spreading that a lot of people were in the same situation as me. Granted, not near as dire of a situation as me, but their grades had lowered by around 10%, maybe 15. I was 30%. But the teacher could see this, and I think that he was like starting to feel bad, trying to like retcon the situation, because we had a couple tests, and he's like, you know what, guys, just do them at home, like the saint he is. He said, I'm gonna help you out, and let me tell you, I needed every single bit of help that I could get. But when I went home to do these tests, I was again the receiver of another amazing gift. Okay, so I just took a test, and this is unbelievable. So this was an 100-point test. If I would have failed it, it would have dropped me around 4%. If I would have passed it, it would have brought me up less than 1%. I did my best. I got a 94. I went crazy on this thing. But let me show you what the grade looks like. I can't flip my camera. It's not letting me flip it. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so this is the test that I just took. If you can almost see it, I got a 94. It brought me to a 53. If I would have failed that, got like a complete 0, I would have had, let's find out, 50. How does that make any sense? And also my foot massager is on, let me turn that off. Also, I got hit with an email today, so I know the rest of the stuff that is gonna happen at the end of the course. So to dumb it down, I got 4 more class periods to pop off. I have a presentation I have to give, and then I have a lab final, which that's like the big thing because that lab area is what screwed me in the first place. That is on December 4th. If I can cook on the 4th, then I think I should be good to pass because then I have the Cisco final on the 9th, and that will seal my fate. But the real thing that's gonna seal my fate is literally this skills assessment on December 4th. Today it is the 19th of November, so I have about like a week and a half until that test happens. I'm still feeling optimistic. I don't really know how it's gonna go though, so I'll keep you posted. So this small detail doesn't sound like it's a crazy thing, but having all of the dates that I need is huge for me because now this basically means that I know every single day my final's gonna happen, my lab final's gonna happen, and some like other assignments and the practice days that we're gonna have for the final. So I can pretty much prepare for the days that are upcoming. Okay, so today is November 20th. We have about 2 weeks roughly until the big exam I need, but something big happened today. I got Starbucks. You should have saw the look on the barista's face when I said no tip. Oh, but no, actual in class, something big happened. The teacher posted all the assignments for the rest of the year so we can actually see what my grades are. I was gonna check it in class, but then I started realizing that is gonna kill my vibe, kill the mood, and there's just no way I'm doing that until I get home. So the ride home, I'm completely just pondering what is my grade gonna be, because I can actually put and input all the grades that are yet to come into the canvas, so I can see like what I could potentially have if I did good on this test or this assignment. And when I got home, I was in for the best surprise that I've ever seen. Okay, so I just got home and I got some pretty good news. We're sitting at an 81 right now. This is like unheard of numbers for a while. Before the VSLM test, that was the big skills assessment thing that we didn't know about. That brought me from an 88 to a 52 or 53. I just got on my canvas right now and I am at an 81. This is actually like kind of huge. Let me show you guys just like for freaking proof, because I know y'all don't believe me. Look at this. Can you believe that? Now, this doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet. It just means that we're looking good. We have an 81 right now, but I still have to work my butt off to get this final. So I have 2 like big skills assessment ones. Part 1 is subnetting. Part 2 is like router and switch configuration. They are worth a combined 170 skill points. This is what we like to hear. This is good news though. Oh my God. I was like stressed on the way home because he released all this crap and I didn't want to kill my mood. I also drank my Starbucks before I left the parking lot. Now this was absolutely huge news to hear because for one night I could sleep nice knowing that I have an 81 in the class, that I am on track to pass this class. But like all things in life, they don't last for very long. Because when I woke up the next morning, I was hit with news worse when I found out my friend recorded me falling backwards while squatting 170. I can't see. It's early in the morning. So I woke up today and I checked my email and I have some terrible news. God gave me 1 night of rest and then he hit me with a brick in the morning. I just learned that my teacher changed the category back to what it was because a lot of the students were struggling and it brought their grades down very low. Like they did good on it and it shot their grade up, and then now since he changed it back, it dropped them like 10%. So that means that I'm the lamb for slaughter, and we're back down to a 54. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this was devastating news to me, knowing that I had a 53 the night before, bumped it up to an 81, and then right now we're back to like a 54. Wasn't the best. Now, I can see where it was coming from. So what happened was he changed the category to put it in quizzes, and that put a lot less weight on it, and then a couple students complained that their grades dropped. Now, later I talked to them and found it was only like 4 to 5%, but I can understand why they're upset, because I guess I'm kind of in the wrong since I'm the one that did bad on the test. But nonetheless, he changed it back, and my grade plummeted. And since he did this, and he was trying to make everybody's grades kind of go up, he said that he would have us a test to do in the next class, which is what I'll be talking about in the next clip. And this test could actually bump me to around like an 80-ish if I can like do really well. So I spent the entire weekend just studying hard on it, trying to make sure that I know completely everything and that I'm ready to go. But we could not give up yet, and we had to keep pushing forward. Okay, so it's December 2nd today. it is so cold outside that it could kill a polar bear of frostbite, and I'm up at 6 in the morning and I'm about to brave the snow. I got a presentation today and a big test. This test should put me from the 50 that I was. Right now I'm sitting at about 64, and it should bump me to around 81. So today's a big day. I need this test. The even bigger one is on Thursday, but I think we're gonna do fine. I think we're gonna pass the class. I got a long drive in the snow, so I will see you there. Fire transition, I know. So that day in class, we were supposed to do a presentation, our test, and then we were supposed to study for the actual final. So I did my presentation, everybody else does their presentations, and we're getting ready for the test, and he's just not doing it. And nobody is correcting him, and he's like, we're just gonna study for the final. So I go out loud and I say, are we gonna do the test? And he's like, no, it's gonna take too much time. No, it would not have. It wouldn't have taken too much time. It had a 15-minute time limit, and I know that I would have got a perfect score, and it would have bumped me up to an 81. They're doing everything in their power to keep me from passing this class, but it won't stop me.
Okay, I just got out of class. Today was interesting, as always. No. So I get in class, do my presentation. That was the worst thing ever. I was stuttering more than like Porky Pig. Everyone's just sitting around chilling, and out of the silence, I just say, hey, what about that big test we were doing today? And the whole entire class sighs. My God, they hate me. But I'm being selfish. I need the points. Like, this could bring me from a 64 to like an 81 or something. Well, he looks at it and he says, you know what? We're just not gonna do it today. Seriously? 101 points for like what I need, and we're just not gonna do it. So yeah, he canceled that test, and I got my one on Thursday, the big test to settle it all. You guys remember like what I said like 2 weeks ago about the LeBron James performance? That's the energy I'm bringing to Game 7 of the finals.
Now it feels like everything they're doing at this point is just to keep me from passing the class. But my God, let me tell you, it's not gonna work. I've went head over heels, bending over backwards, trying to pass. I put so much effort and time into studying, into knowing all the information, so anything gets thrown because they love to throw curveballs. Anything that is thrown my way, I'm catching it, I'm sending it right back. So on my day off in between my next class, I ended up studying the entire day. I don't do anything except for study the final, because we have a rough draft of what the final is actually going to look like. So for 2 days, we got to study what the final is going to be, and basically it is a computer and then another computer that is inside your computer. It's called a virtual machine, and then you have a switch and a router. You connect your PC to the switch to the router, and then you need to ping your PC to your virtual PC, and you have to do all these configurations. So I made sure that I knew them by heart going into the next final. Good morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. Today is the day of the final. I have put too much work into this to let it all slip away today, and I actually feel very confident about this, which really scares me, because every single time I feel confident about something, it goes horribly wrong, and today is not the day for that. I need to do one of those videos where they say something like, what do you think you're getting in the final? And they say 100, and then they fail. But I don't want that to be me. I think I'm gonna pass. Right now I'm sitting at a 71. He put some more grades in, so I'm actually like officially passing. So my hard work and effort is going towards something. We're officially passing at a 71. And if I can just pass today and pass Tuesday, and then I can watch FNAF, because FNAF comes out tomorrow and I wanna watch that. So if I make it through this, I get to watch FNAF next Friday. Yeah, let's pass this test. This is stupid. So on that day, walking into class was the most stressed that I've been in a long time. He made us sit in different seats, so you're already uncomfortable with everything. You don't really, you know the equipment you're working with, but the computer and the area you're at is completely different. He hands out our papers. As soon as the time hits, we all start. The first bit is subnetting, and I start looking at all the subnetting stuff. I don't know how to explain subnetting to people, but basically, it was right on a number where it needed to be a different number, so I put a completely different number. This sounds crazy. And I did the whole entire paper, and then at the last second, I was like, this ain't right. This is wrong. It was like I was facing my own beast again. The thing that put me there in the beginning, the thing that dropped my grades so low, I was gonna be killed again by it. It was almost like this full circle moment. And thank God I did, because the new answer was right. If I would have failed that one part, that would have got off like 36 points, I think, and that would have put me at a bad start for the next part, which was the IP configuration and all the configuration to the router and everything. I hook all the cables up. I do everything. There's one point I look at the front of the room because I hear this like sniffling, and I look to the front of the room, and there is a woman like dead shot, bawling, crying. Like, it's like a full-on war zone in there. Tears streaming down both sides of her face. It was kind of sad. It felt like the Hunger Games, like, oh, there's one down, I got a couple more to go. And I'm going down the list. This is a list that I've seen 100 times at this point on just this sheet, because I practiced it so many times. I've been at home on my home PC going through this configuration so many times. There's nothing that he could do to make me not pass this. I do everything. Everything is perfect, and I go to ping, and the ping won't work. The ping makes 3 jumps. I'm trying to ping from the computer to the virtual machine. So it goes switch, router, virtual machine, and it can't make it. It can't make it to that spot. It makes it all the way to the port that it needs to, and it can't make it past. And then my virtual machine, it can't ping out, and I'm starting to panic. I have 30 more minutes, so I think that I have time to fix this, but I don't know what to do. Because both times we practiced in class, I have had a problem that I couldn't fix by myself. Every single time, it was a stupid problem, and I could never fix it by myself. And in this moment, I couldn't afford to have that. These pings were worth 40 points, and I needed these points. I started getting desperate in the middle. I even threw a Hail Mary out there, and I raised my hand. He walked over, and I said, this might be a stupid question, and he said, maybe not. And I said, well, it probably is. And then I asked, is there any way we get troubleshooting help on this? And he said no and walked away. The time starts ticking away, and it ends up, I can't do it. I can't end up pinging it, but I have every other point right, every single other thing right that I could have. Worst case scenario, I should get about a 190 out of the 138 or 136, and then I got the first half completely right. So in total, I should get about 130 to like a 140-ish out of 170 on the entire thing, which should bump my grade up to where it needs to be.
Okay, so I just got back in my car. I did the test. It went okay. It didn't go as good as I was hoping. I'm probably gonna get a strong, probably 130 out of 170 on it. The reason I didn't get the perfect score was because I forgot to turn the firewall off. That is literally all that did it for me. I didn't turn a firewall off because I just forgot about it, and then that made my pings couldn't work. But it's over. It should be over. I should get over a 70. So hopefully it bumps my grade up. And then this Tuesday, we have the final, and that'll determine if I can pass the class or not. So we're gonna work hard this weekend, and hopefully we can get it. I have not lost hope yet.
So I spend the whole entire weekend studying for the test. I literally go through the entire Cisco course, which is like a 4 to 5 month course. I did it in 3 days. On that Friday, I was supposed to have a test, like a certification, where I went in for a different class. So I drove 2 hours into class just to get there, and they're like, actually, hey, our stuff isn't working today. So we got sent home. So I drove 2 hours, spent like $40 on gas for literally nothing, which is just so annoying because it's time that I could have been studying. But also the bigger point is this means that now I would have 2 tests that I just studied for this weekend, because I have 2 finals on the exact same day, both determining if I'm going to pass both classes. Now in the other class, which is a Linux class, I have a 90, but it's weighted by a 25%, so I don't need to do like that good on it, but I need to do good enough to get like above a 70. If I bomb it, I'll probably sit like a 64% on it. But I'm not near as worried on the Linux test than I am as the other test. But the night before the test and everything happened, I recorded this next part. Okay, so tomorrow is officially the day. It is the day that all of this ends. I can put it up and stow it away, and it'll be over. So this whole weekend, I have only been working on the curriculum from the entire year, or not year. I got through literally like 5 months of content in 2 days. That is how locked in I was the entire weekend. I didn't even watch the FNAF 2 movie. Like, that's how bad I want this. And I'm so glad that it's all coming down to tomorrow. I feel pretty confident on the material, but my God, I know there's gonna be something that throws me off. There's always a problem. There's always something that happens. Always something you gotta overcome. And I don't know what it is. I have 2 finals tomorrow. I was supposed to take one on Friday, but I drove all the way up there 2 hours, and they said, you know what, it's not working, go home. So I went to a candy store and I bought gum. But at this point, it feels like it's not even only about passing the class. I've put so much into this past month of just working on stuff. On my monitor turned off. In this past month, I've spent so much time working my way back up and studying and spending a lot of time on this one goal, and to pass the class. And now that I'm there and I feel like it's in reach, I can do this. It feels weird to like be at that point. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that it's gonna be over. But at this point, it feels like I'm doing this more for myself, to say that I can screw up big time, I can have something unexpected happen, and I can work on it, and I can put my mind to it, and I can do it. And that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. So I gotta wake up at 5. I got to leave a little bit later tomorrow, so I'm gonna wake up earlier, study the material again, and then yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna get it done. And after I pass, I'm gonna buy a venti pink drink. Oh my God, I brushed my teeth. They look yellow because of the freaking lighting.
just got done taking the final. That's right, we passed. It's over. It's gone. It's done with. I'm so freaking excited to have all this crap done. So I took 2 finals today. I'm gonna run you through them real quick, what happened, how it went. So the first final, my God, that was terrifying. It was a Linux Plus test. Let me tell you, they want you to feel uncomfortable. They hate your guts. As soon as you start the test, they got 4 questions. Hardest thing you've ever seen, it's to scare you, because after it's, I don't know, whatever, it's terrible. And then to be honest, the test that I was like more scared about was the second one, which I blew through it. It wasn't even close. Like literally, I got a 95% on it. That's how much I studied this weekend, and it paid off. I was the second one to finish in the class, the second only to a dude that looks like Corey Kenshin. Let's get a drink of this. Hang on. Guess what it says on it? We appreciate you. Now, for some reason, I actually don't believe that, considering they got my order wrong. So now what? I guess now I'm gonna go home. It's kind of weird that it's over for a little bit. I think I'm gonna play games when I get home. I have not touched a video game in the past month. 1 month ago, my life was flipped on the day of reckoning, and I went from an 88 to a 53, and 3 weeks later, we brought it back. It feels good to say. It feels good to say. Follow your dreams, kids. I'm gonna hit up Dairy Queen and get a freaking 6-piece combo. My next video, I gotta get abs, so this is like my last time before I hit that up. But yeah, boys, I'm gonna head home. I made a lot of things in life, but I will never let myself be a failure.
So there you have it, the end of the anime, the end of my saga, and my God, I'm so glad to have it done. Now that test was so easy that literally I got the first like 30 questions and I was like, God, this is way too easy. I know all of this. And I started waiting 2 minutes before answering the next question just so I wouldn't look suspicious getting the test done. I was doing that crazy. But as hard as all this has been, I do have to say that it is very rewarding to have done it and got it all done. And if I'm being completely honest with you, the entire semester, I learned by far the most in that class out of any of my classes. Like, yeah, I got stuff out of my other classes, but not anywhere close to this last one I took. And I think that's a very telling thing of life in general. You're always going to learn more from the harder experiences than you will from just coasting by and doing it all easy. But yeah, this was my battle that I faced the last month, and I came out on top. Because like I said earlier, I'm a lot of things, but I will never let myself be a failure. But yeah, boys, that's it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, stay up to date. Don't give up. Okay, bye-bye, guys. Peace.